Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Hyperlight Drifter. I apologize if this is going to be a very hamstrung beginning because I've died 2 times already. Oh my goodness. To this particular segment. I didn't take any damage from that explosion. I will gladly take that. I must have had iframes. I wasn't paying proper attention. Just enough to know that I didn't take any damage. I'm not doing a particularly good job. No, I hate these shuriken throwing frogs. You know, this game has a strange, it's almost borderline furry at times, but it has these, why frogs? Why? I mean, I think I prefer it. You know why I prefer it? Because it enhances this sense of, what I was talking about earlier with this sense of grittiness and horror. No one expects a game with rodents, with cute little rodents and frogs and a blue-colored protagonist to be so freaking violent at times. That, I think, in turn helps build into this kind of subversion. I do think the best kind of grittiness and the best kind of horror are the types that are subversions, is what I would say. Which is in part why I love Lovecraftian horror so much. Now, excuse me a moment. I realize there's something down there. I've been there. That's from around the other side. I apologize for that kind of weirdly boring commentary there. And now I'm speaking monotone. No matter. That's why I love Lovecraft, because it really subverts a lot of, I would say, typical or standard elements, tropes in horror. And that goes a long way for me. I am a sucker for subversions. I love it. And I love anything that does subversion and anything that does subversion well. Not subversion for subversion's sake. Again, subversion, like this engagement curve, it's a qualitative multiplier. It provides contrast and it provides a greater level of dimension and depth to a story that would otherwise be unachievable. Now, I'm not a writer, by the way. I do a lot of looking into writing and such. I hope I make it. I hope that comes through. Like, I do think a lot about writing. I do think about these things about, you know, particularly as it pertains to video games, because video games are my preferred consumption of media. Video games and books. Oh, careful there. Video games and books. I don't know why. In fact, I would say books and video games are more closely related than books and movies, or movies and video games, which is a strange opinion to hold, I realize. And it was first by Yahtzee Croshaw. Zero punctuation, probably more popular. See, look at this. This poor guy is skinned. What the actual fuck? Look at this. There are cute fuzzy rodents on spears, impaled. This is getting very Lord of the Flies feeling. So, Zero Punctuation, which is the YouTube channel, has I'm not sure if he still updates it anymore. I remember he stopped a little while ago. He has a blog called Extra Punctuation, which is a very fitting name, I might add. And where he actually goes and actually gives a little bit of better analysis to games, and it's genuinely interesting. I think there's a lot of value to be found there. Like, for example, he introduced me to this idea of the 3 C's in what makes games fun. There's like catharsism, challenge, and another thing, which unfortunately I can't remember, and it's going to be a hard thing to Google, no doubt, because I don't know, the 3 C's, is that? We'll see where that takes you. But one thing he mentioned was that he finds that books, it was him that introduced the idea that books and video games might be more closely related than people give them credit for. Namely, this level of personal interactivity. No, not personal interactivity, but the more personal nature of books. See, this is what gives me the idea that we read these runes up, down, left to right. Because you see that last column? It seems to end abruptly. That's just my 2 cents on it. I haven't deciphered them. I intend to eventually, or I might just jump online and start reading online communities about the matter. Yeah, whatever. Because to go back to my book conversation, there's a very personal it's just on intrapersonal. Books or movies do interpersonal conflict really well, such as, say, the bomb's about to go off and the hero must diffuse it in time. But oh no, a plane, like enemies are attacking and whatnot. Sure, okay, that does a good job of that. Books are better off at getting inside the head of the protagonist or inside the head of people. Whereas video games, likewise, it's not just as good at getting you inside the head of the video game of the protagonist. It's actually more than that. You're actually at their best. You're actually playing inside of the video game protagonist itself. There you go. See, this is where you're meant to use the... At its best, video games, I would say... See, now I need to concentrate. Video games, I would say, they are... Ooh, careful there. See, I need to concentrate for this. I died. That's the first time I've died to him. Oh my god. Okay, before I go back into it, let me just finish the point I was making about, with video games, at their best, you're actually playing inside the mind of the character, inside the mind of your player character. At their best, I would say. just spam the gun. That does damage to me, doesn't it? See, this is where you're meant to use... If you use those exploding gun... if you use these exploding flowers, it goes a long way into actually making your life a lot easier. Thank you. So this boss battle is not too hard, but I'm sure you saw at the beginning just how fucked up it was with him outright eating this little... Oh my fucking god, I forgot how disgusting that is. I apologize for the... I kind of feel sick a little bit. Oh, but what did you expect? Had you forgotten that this game starts you off with being impaled and, starting in a pool of blood, and that there are dead bodies hovering, floating in the water all around you, and the fact that just outside the hub area there's piles upon piles of skeletons? Notice this arrow pattern here. Did you not notice that? Like, what did you expect? You're gonna kill a frog in a death isn't pretty. And that's what I like about Subversion. In the words of Hideo Kojima, I know I'm not saying that right. I know. Look, I've been to Japan. I've studied Japanese. I watched Naruto. I know how to speak Japanese. In the words of Hideo Kojima, or I'm paraphrasing, subversions are not when the game tricks the player. It's when the player fools themselves into thinking anything different about the game. And here we are. This is where we begin to find new guns. It's a shotgun. Okay. No, I don't particularly like it. I prefer the gun I've got. The pistol. I like pinpoint accuracy. There is another gun which I really quite enjoy. It's like the pistol, except double damage, half the bullets. I love it. I love that because it means, a lot of the enemies I've been fighting through this region, like ranged enemies that have 2 health, those shuriken throwing frogs, 2 health, those purple frogs that throw the jars, 2 health. So with a single bullet, you can just kill them instead of having to bother with doing 2 bullets and potentially missing them. And it helps keep me a lot more aggressive. Now, did I go through here? No, I went through down below. All right. We're approaching the end of this area. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish it. This particular area. This particular episode. That would be nice. Because I've already beaten the boss. Like, what more could I want? Beating the boss unlocks... It raises that pillar. I'll actually showcase what that pillar is good for. I got hit. No, I didn't. I didn't get hit. Strange. Anyways. That pillar thing, it does unlock... It unlocks things in the hub world. In the central hub, I'll showcase it to you. So that's what the boss is good for. It reveals a little bit extra. You can find some nice secrets, some nice upgrades, some nice mini games with added. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need to head back. Anyways, this is the perfect opportunity. I've beaten the boss. Let's teleport back to the central hub. You can see the pillar is raised on the map. You can see it. It has been raised. And I'll very quickly show off show off what it is that defeating the boss does. I'm not sure what defeating all bosses do. I'll be frank. Again, I haven't played this game into its entirety. So this pillar is raised. That arrow pattern. Remember that arrow pattern I mentioned much earlier? This here, now it's lowered. And now I have, voila, another chance to upgrade. Now I have plenty of room to upgrade. So I'm going to do exactly that. I know what I want first. What I want first is to go into this shop here and purchasing this multi-dash. There's also iframes from bullets during dashing and, oh, a dash attack. I want all three of those. I'll be honest. But no, you know what? I'll get the parry instead. The bullet parry, just to cover my bases. And this is, you can see now, you can do this. Oh, I wonder if I can actually... There are secrets you can unlock if you hit 100 and I think also 300 or 200. It's incredibly high. I don't know how to do it. And I wasn't expecting to be able to do this well while commentate. My game lagged out. I promise you, my game lagged. I lost frames. That's not my fault. I'll end up having to do it off camera if that's the case. If I walk over to here, you can see that my little companion points something out. Anyways. But, oh, worth mentioning, you have stamina. You can see in the top left corner, every time I multi-dash, stamina gets wasted. And these things here, these pads, they actually just replenish the stamina. Worth knowing, just in case, in future. I'm going to go get the parry now, because the parry will help cover my bases. It'll just help me more defensively, especially against the bullets. Oh, careful there. Other things available are more ammo for your bullets. More ammo for your bullets, more ammo for your guns, as well as more med packs and a completely new gadget, a grenade throw, a grenade attack. But for now, that'll do. Yeah, that ought to do. Let's jump back here. Now, why would I do that? I need to backtrack. That's the thing I need to do. But I can't remember where it was. It was very early on. Bear with me a minute as I backtrack. Okay, and now it bothers me that I can't multi-dash. I'm doing a very poor job of multi-dashing. And you should worry about that. There's that slide. The slide actually has some very interesting utility that I've noticed gets reused and repeated over and over and over again in games. It's like a consistent. Think Titanfall. Think Titanfall. Think Dishonored. Think Pyre. Supergiant Games Pyre. What these slides are really good for when you start sliding is, sure, it takes control away from the player. That's it's meaningful. It's a meaningful limitation on control. I can't exit. I need to. That's not fair. I want to exit this area. I've already cleared it out before. It's because every time you teleport back to the hub, I didn't get damaged again, did I? It's every time you teleport back to the hub, you end up respawning the enemies, which is unfortunate, which is annoying because I want to backtrack in this area. Because now that I have access to this multi-dash, it means I have access to areas I didn't have earlier. And I suspect it's going this way. So what the slide is really good for is it keeps you moving in one direction. Greatest band ever to exist. It keeps you moving in one direction. Now, excuse me, I haven't done this before. Last time I cheesed it. So I'm going to need to concentrate for this. Oh. I fell. Is it worth killing myself or is it worth re-healing? It's worth healing up again. This is going to suck. I'm not going to be able to make it back. I'm going to need to kill myself. If that's the case... See, last time what I did here was I cheesed it. I cheesed it by... I had accidentally upgraded my medkits instead of my dashes. So I had an extra medkit. With 4 medkits, you can make it across and back. Which is good. Let me just... No, I can't teleport. I probably can, but I'm just too lazy to do it anyways. This is more relaxing this way. You can... That was a weird sounding swallow. You can cheese it using 4 medkits, being able to get there and back. But with multi-dashing, this is going to be the end of me. I already used all my medkits. With multi-dashing, you should be able to access... I've been up here before. Yeah, there was the... That was the rune thing that I was able to read and analyze. No, if I talk about dashing, let me just give you an example. Come on, start sliding. I can't attack while I'm sliding. I can't attack while I'm sliding, but the thing is, I can change the direction I'm facing. So what you can use this is to do, in all these games, Titanfall, Dishonored, Pyre, you can use it as an opportunity to start moving in a certain direction and be able to, because you know which direction, you have quite good control over which direction you start moving. So you start moving in this one direction and you're fixed moving in that one direction. And while you're fixed moving in that one direction, you can take the opportunity to stop thinking about, to really concentrate more so on just aiming. So you can really take the opportunity to aim your... I thought I would have gotten him before he hit me. You can take the opportunity to aim your gun in games like Titanfall, Pyre, and this game, to aim your gun to a really, really accurate degree. And so you slide into this room and you can just shoot, knowing full well you're going to be moving forwards, you're going to be hard to hit back, you're going to be covering distance, yet at the same time you have the benefit of being able to clearly think and clearly focus on where you're aiming. See, this is unfortunate. I'm missing one more than I'd expect. I might actually go back and at the end of this episode, I'm gonna... Yeah, I'll totally backtrack. I'll totally backtrack and... I'll backtrack and find the missing diagonal. Oh, this is intense! I can cheese it if I like. I didn't cheese it. Holy shit. I was gonna say, you know, I can just heal up now. It doesn't matter anymore, but then I completely failed. Are you insane? Are you out of your mind? That's not fair. That's not a fair respawn. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that that is not a fair respawn. That bothers me. That bothers me quite a lot. No, so I am missing one of those pull-up. Oh yeah, did you see that? I actually knocked away his bullets as well. I'm missing out on one of those. But I don't know where it was. But I know where I missed out on it. It was during the second episode or third episode I recognized that I was missing one of those triangles. What would I call them? Power triangles? Let's call them the Triforce. I find that I tend to, by default, I fall back on Legend of Zelda names for all. So if there's a horse in the game, I'm naturally going to call it Epona. For some reason. And no, I think I do know the reason. I'd say it's because Zelda seems to be the game that introduced a lot of video game tropes, as it were. No, it's okay. I can take 2 damage there. That's worthwhile. Zelda seems to be... The Legend of Zelda series seems to be a game series that introduced a lot of now standard tropes to the gaming namespace. To the game space. So, you know, if there's ever a damsel in distress, I call her Zelda. I refer to her as Zelda. For the first half of Ico, I was referring to Yorda as Zelda. And occasionally that stupid motherfucker can't take care of herself. But yeah, so it's interesting to think Zelda, probably not the first to introduce all sorts of these tropes, but it was definitely the one that was the game that was popular. Like, for example, Super Hydralide, I hear, had a lot of influence on early Zelda games. And if you want to learn more about Super Hydralide, I can recommend Pro Jared. He does an interesting video on... Yeah, put it that way. He does an interesting series of video. No, just one video, just a review on Super Hydralide. He doesn't like the game. He really doesn't like the game, which is fine. By all means, don't like it. That sounds so passive-aggressive. Like, fine. Do what you want. Be like that. Don't like the game. It's like those Pokemon breeders in Pokemon Ruby. The gemstones, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Where when you ask for your Pokemon back, or they ask, would you like your Pokemon back? And you're like, no, and they're like, okay, fine. Oh, I was not paying attention. Thankfully, since all the enemies have respawned, all the medkits have also respawned. Yeah, they have. Thank God. Really, God save the Queen. And now, time for the awkward silence as I concentrate. You're really meant to be using those, those grassy enemies. Ooh. Oh, did you see? Oh shit! Did you see that? Upon healing takes a little bit of time to get back up to full health. So I healed up from 1 health. I healed up 2 before I got hit again, so I was back at 1 health permanently. Nice. Anyways, that brings us to a close. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate your viewership. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more Hyperlight Drifter coming in future. But until then, have a nice day.